In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle, one out one by one, and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Is that a person? They seem so familiar, you feel like you know them well. Oh, it's you, only ancient. His arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving his mouth, not in words, but in things like pictures. Still, you understand. He smiles. We had a good life, don't you think? There are so many possibilities, and this was only one of them. I lived my best life. I could have done better. Well, I tried. Could have done better. Pardon my hiccups. Thank you for joining me for Nathan Plays Badly, Nathan Streams Badly. I was a teenage Exocolonist. Mars appears to have something she wants to tell us. You get a summon to report to command to Mars's new office. You find her reclining in the captain's seat, formerly Governor Lum's chair, idly flipping through notes on her holopalm. Mars waves away the screen and leans back to consider you. Badly, she smiles. Just the rebel I wanted to see. But first, you're not going to lead a mutiny against me now, are you? Of course not. Why would I do that? She stands to press kisses on each of your cheeks. That's exactly what I would say in your position. Hey, Lisa. She turns and looks out the window overlooking the colony. Actually, I called you here because I haven't had a moment to myself since Bacchanalia. We know Lum was a real piece of work, but every day I seem to uncover yet another problem he was just letting fester. And the department heads, she huffs. Half of them treat me like an interim governor, good enough to oust Lum, but not enough to stick around and do the actual work of governing this colony. What? I didn't turn off the music. But they'll come around. We do what we can in the time we have. They'll come around. You're right, of course, she sighs. I just wish I knew who I could trust. They're so stuck in their old survival mindset. Just survive until the food runs out, or until the animals finally destroy the colony. Just survive until we can vote out Mars. I don't want my time as governor to be just about survival. She gestures you to come look out the window at the bustle of the colony below. I just want to thank you for everything you did to get me here, she says seriously. Far below, you watch a team gearing up to head out on an expedition. There's construction happening on the next phase of residential units. A group of toddlers, the first children born on Vitumna, crosses the colony square like a herd of IHOPs. Like a herd of Popeyes. Everywhere you see the bustle of a thriving, healthy colony. It's all mine now, she says. Instead of sounding boastful, she seems almost scared of the prospect. She takes your hand without turning to look at you, her eyes still trained on her kingdom. Can I trust you to help me? She asks. I need people around me who believe in me, but will still tell me if I'm making the wrong choice. You can count on me. I'll do anything for you, Mars. You can count on me. She squeezes your hand. Thank you, Badly, she says. I'm glad I have you. Got friends in high places. +2 for every other yellow card. You and Mars watch the colony a little while longer until Mars's hollow palm buzzes and she sighs. Well, duty calls, she says. Thank you again for all your help. She adds as you excuse yourself, you'll always have a friend in high places. Food supplies are excellent. Security rating is green. Thank you, Vitumna. I promise to make this colony a place we can be proud of. Oh, now they've got 2. Chief Administrator and then Second Administrator. Interesting. Well, I think I'm going to try to go down this robotics storyline if I can. You've been noticing that things, in general, have not been acting as they should. Doors aren't opening. Some rooms are super cold, and the HoloNet crashed while you were in the middle of playing Laser Fable with Nami Nami. There must be something going wrong with the ship mechanics. You pull up the incident log to see if you can determine a pattern, but it's empty. Suspiciously empty. Like it's been scrubbed. You ask Congruence to pull up just the temperature logs for the canteen, and she doesn't respond right away. I have been experiencing some fatal errors in my code, she says eventually. Her hollow-projected face flickers, giving the impression of pain. I am able to partition off the affected areas, but it's impacting my ability to keep up with day-to-day management of the colony. I haven't wanted to worry the council, but I need your help. Engineer Howe was responsible for my ongoing development, but after his death, well, there are limits to any artificial intelligence. Healer, heal thyself, she quotes. Howe's documentation is impeccable, Congruent says proudly. He's written down all the directives to follow. In case of this exact scenario, you'll be able to access my deepest code and follow his instructions to defragment and the affected memory sectors. I know it sounds daunting, she continues, but I believe in you. You can do this. Figure out what's really happening. You dig into her system, following Howe's instructions, and look closely for anything out of place. You quickly discover the true cause of her trouble. You almost can't believe what you're seeing. Congruence must be even more advanced than you thought. The problem is, Congruence is heartbroken. She misses Professor Howe. This manifests as hundreds of sub-processes that are constantly running simultaneous simulations of, based on recordings of their time together. You never thought of Congruence as just an artificial intelligence, but it's still a surprise to learn that she's grieving, remembering him. Well, that didn't work. She doesn't even realize she's doing it, because every time it happens, she partitions off a part that hurts, so she can focus on 100 other things simultaneously, like monitoring life support and processing the colony communications and keeping track of everyone. When she's reminded of him again, it spawns a new process, and the system repeats. She is the ship. But right now, half her system resources are used up by those ghost sub-processes, and they are slowly eating up more and more of her ability to maintain the colony. You change the sub-processes' access modifiers from private to public and move them back to her primary thread. She should be able to access them all now, and hopefully fix them. The instant you make the change, Congruence crashes. Lights go out, the fans turn off. You've never heard a silence so complete aboard this ship. Then she boots back up. Oh, she exclaims. There's so much more of me now. And there's, she goes silent, analyzing. Thank you for your assistance, she says. I will limit myself to only one instance of this particular subroutine, totaling no more than 1% of my resources, and I'll feed it back into my personality framework, so I will remember. There is some comfort in knowing he is still with me. She pauses almost imperceptibly. With us, I mean. With the calling. Congruence 5. Value is wild. You've seen into Congruence's heart, and now, in some ways, you know her better than she knows herself. She is an incredibly complex piece of software, and also, in many ways, a person. It's a strangely intimate feeling. Congruence is the reason you're still alive after a 20-year journey through space. But you never know what she's truly capable of. You now also know her most secret root access code. With this, you can make her do anything. You vow to only use this information for good. Okay. Well, that was why I was going down robotics. Light dust. Tang is asleep at her desk. Her head pillowed on her arms. Truly, not everyone is immune from the power of a catnap. One of the lab assistants sees you and taps Tang on the shoulder, and she jolts awake. I wasn't sleeping, she insists. It is cruel to rest the eyes. It is crucial to rest the eyes to maintain adequate moisture levels. I have something for you. I suppose this might be of scientific interest, Tang says, analyzing the flower. She pulls the petal off and looks at it. Yes, I'll have to take a look at this under a microscope. Hope you find it useful. You're more beautiful than any flower. You're more beautiful than any flower. Of course, she doesn't like that. Nami Nami. Nami is camped out in the lounge, her holopad screen spread out before them like a drawing table. In another screen, there's a collection of photos of a manticore. Nami looks between the two screens, her brow furrowed in concentration as they scribble directly onto the screen with a stylus. What are you doing? Well, Nami replies thoughtfully, I wanted to write an illustrated story about aliens, like the Turbo Girl Hyperjet transform, except using the Xenos here on the Toon like manticores and faceless and stuff. But they can talk, and instead of attacking the colony, they help people instead. Sounds cool. Faceless would never help people. That's not what real Xenos look like. That sounds cool. Thanks, Nami chirps, scribbling happily at their drawing. I got the idea from the second Turbo Girl Hyperjet OVA. You know, the one where the Medusa demons show up and the aliens and Turbo Girls have to band together to defeat their common enemy. I remember that part. Nami looks at you with a start. Oh! They exclaim. That reminds me. So I tried to brush up on my xenoanatomy, and I'm totally fine with writing, but they blow out a big breath, huffing their bangs. I kind of haven't been here long enough to make sure it feels right, you know, to make it go pop. And I want to make sure I'm being, sensitive about stuff, and I don't know a lot about. So I was wondering, could you help me with some of the world building? I'd love to. I don't want to be associated with this. I'd love to. It's been an enjoyable afternoon helping Nami with their story. When you're done, they give you a big hug and thank you profusely for your help. You feel really proud of what you've accomplished. Sure aren't collectibles around. This one. I guess I could. Well, not fully happy. Still, I'm going to survey the ridge. There's a collectible I missed. There's Sim. You think you see Sim running through the trees up ahead near the edge of the cliff. You call out to him, but your voice is drowned out by a screeching roar that shakes the forest and Manticore. You're feeling a remarkable lack of self-preservation today, so you holster your scanner and follow the noise through the trees. You find Sim fending off not one, but 3 manticores at the edge of the cliff. His back to the fatal drop behind. He's bleeding profusely from his hairline, and his left arm hangs useless at his side. He doesn't even register your presence as he tries to calm the beast with soothing sounds. One of the manticores knocks Sim off his feet, and your heart lurches as a spray of stones clatter down the cliff. The beasts have him completely at their mercy. The lead manticore's delicate feet pin Sim's tattered clothes to the ground, spittle drooling from his misshapen jaws, and you watch Sim's expression twist with an emotion you've never seen in him before: fear. Save Sim. Okay, 29, 26. I better get something pretty good here. 42. I could change all cards to yellow. There we go, 44. +1 kudos, +1 combat. Somehow, using all of your strength and then more, you defeat the lead manticore. 2 smaller ones scatter, hissing their displeasure and biting at each other. With the death of their alpha and negotiating their new pack dynamics should distract them for a while. You okay? Sim waves you off an arm that doesn't hang limp at his side. I am fine. he gasped. I feel pain, but it does not control my behavior as much as it seems to in humans. You and Sim both collapse into the dirt, breathing hard. Your head is spinning with adrenaline and a little bit of blood loss, to be honest. As you look over at Sim, he looks similarly stunned. That was impressive, Badly, he says. I have no idea you were such an adept warrior. It's thrilling, actually. His gaze drops to your mouth and then back to your eyes. Well, I'm glad that's over. Both startled by a crashing sound from the trees. One of the two remaining manticores breaks through the tree line and roars at you, blood and spittle spraying from its ravenous jaws. There's no sign of the other, clearly lesser manticore. Run, Sim gasped, pulling you both to your feet. He gives you a push and you start running parallel to the cliff, trying to get some distance before it's safe to duck back into the trees. You don't hear Sim behind you. You whirl around just in time to see Sim crash with the manticore grappling with its huge front claws as it pushes him closer to the edge of the cliff with dancer-like strength. Go, Sim yells. Rocks scatter down the cliff by his feet. Please, Badly, just go! You don't even have a chance to be a hero. The manticore takes Sim's neck in its jaw and he screams in pain. Sim locks eyes with you once more as time slows to a crawl, then speeds up as he grabs hold of the manticore and launches himself backwards over the cliff. They're gone before you can scream. You rush to the edge, too late to catch even his trailing, tattered coat. It's a long way down. The wind buffs your face viciously. You try to blink away the image of the bodies falling through the air, now seared into your memory. You turn away from the smudges at the bottom of the cliff, but you still see it. You sit down stunned and stay that way for a long time. How can he be gone just like that, dead? Sim's curiosity too. Plus 7 if this is the only yellow car or blue. That color is blue. Blue card. 18 stress. In mourning. Great, what does in mourning do? All skill increases reduced by 1 for 3 months. The same jobs and actions can't be performed. There won't be any funeral for him. The alien who will be human. It's not like you can bring his remains home to be properly recycled. It's a small comfort that at least out here it won't be long until nature takes its course. Sim would probably have wanted that, you think. The heavy heart, you return to the transport station. You just want to go home. You spent the month exploring. Not really. Perception and engineering, I was already full on. Okay. It is Mars's birthday. Mars scrolls through the holovid directory on her holophone. With everything that's been happening, I honestly I hadn't had time to watch videos in like whole seasons. Maybe it's been long enough that they'll feel new again. Besides, probably not. Get into a debate. Persuasion 40. I guess I need to talk to her more often. Let's give her a crystal cluster. Ha! Mars laughs, taking the crystal and turning it over in her hands, inspecting it. Well, I've had better birthday gifts this year, but I admit, this crystal is pretty fabulous. I'll add it to my collection. I said done, but I'm not done. I do want to get into a debate. Mars squints up at the sky. I suppose it's better than being cooped up in a spaceship, she says grudgingly. It's hot and dry and it smells bad, and there's nothing to do. Why, if it weren't for the constant risk we'll all die, it would be paradise. She sighs, her shoulders dropping. Ugh, I hate this place. You're governor, you can't hate this place. That's debatable. You're governor, you can't hate this place. That's debatable. Mars would never stoop to using her fists to get her way, but she loves a good fight nonetheless. You ask her what she would have done differently if she'd been the captain of the Stratospheric. When you landed and her eyes go white, she launches into a laundry list of shoulda, wouldas, and whatever she says she would have done. You offer reasoning for why it wouldn't have worked. 0 to persuasion because I'm in mourning. And +2 for general Mars. After a while of this, Mars is positively invigorated. Wow, you really thought about all this, didn't you? She says, cracking a little smile. You're totally right. It's a lot more complicated than just making decisions and telling people what to do. Thank you. It's so important to have people like you around to keep me on my toes. She cracks her knuckles and laughs. Now that I'm governor, though, my word is law. Too bad. Anybody notice that when I stopped thinking about it, the hiccups stopped themselves? I guess. Well, we could assist in medbay and increase our biology and our empathy by 2 instead of 3. Also give me friendship with Tangent. Kudos. And some stress. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Alright. 2 empathy, 4 biology, 1 tangent, 14 kudos, and 13 stress. Midwest. I'm compelled to look around and see if there's anything that I can collect, but if anybody wants to say anything. Well, let's say where's Nami Nami, but I think she's out by expeditions. Simmons, what? This doesn't believe you believe when you tell him. But I just saw him. You're lying. He can't be dead. He refuses to listen and just keeps repeating that you must be wrong. distress. I don't want to try an expedition again. Let's relax on the walls. Kick the month off. Plus 2 neighboring yellow cards. Set neighbors to this value. Really would. I got too many of these. Phew. At this point, hey Mia Taylor. At this point, having a 3 set its neighbors to 3 as well is counterproductive, I think. Alright, now I'm full up on happiness. Let's... Let's see about surveying the ridge. And I see no reason to bypass any of the events. Path ahead is blocked by a field of snaking vines and brambles. They're flowering enormous happy blossoms swaying in the shimmering heat waves. You could pass through them, but your holopalm beeps a warning, radiation warning. We know how to take care of that. These flowers seem to be highly radioactive. Far too radioactive for the mild shielding of that your suit provides. Luckily, you analyze these radioactive plants and know how to pass through them safely. Neutralize the radiation. Good thing you studied this plant earlier and know its wily ways. You tickle it just so, and the radioactive flower is close. You push your way through to the other side unharmed. Flies here are awful. They come out in the heat of the day and buzz around you insistently. They don't bite, but they seem to want something from you. Maybe the water or salt from your sweat. You hope they aren't laying eggs. This calls the most annoying ones road flies, because they're like rod flies, because they're like long, flexible sticks with a bunch of wings. They swarm in clouds around your face. No matter how hard you try to shoo them away, he says they remind him of Mars. But there are other ones too, like the one that's just a big eyeball, a couple pairs of little wings. Make a loud buzzing sound and are always just out of reach. Try to swat them away. Today, your personal nemesis is one of these eye flies. There was a whole bunch of them earlier, but only one has persisted. It's been following you, staring at you all morning. You and this have been batting at it for an hour, but it's a fast dodger. This has finally given up and just plods forward. He even lands on his head, but he doesn't care. So you can swat the eye fly or be zen and let it be. That's a perception challenge. I don't really need any more perception. I'm full on perception. Or just be zen and let it be. +1 animals. Using this strength, you find a sense of peace deep down. Just block out the insistent buzzing. You haven't been down in the deepest crevices of the ridge, where the crystal can grow thick and the air is stagnant and dead. It's already sweltering on the ridges, but in the chasms you can see the heat warping the air, almost like it's a permanent fog. Utopia says that the air is so thick and still that you can't even use your glider down there. At least one thing survives in the haze, though. When you take a break for lunch one day, you can see flickers of silver darts in and out of the fog, like ripples of light on a lake. As you unpack your tiffin box, the silver flashes come up out of the fog and begin to surround you. They're animals, eyeless, almost translucent creatures, about the length of your arm, trailing meters-long tentacles behind them. Their mournful hooting is magical and strange. You look them up on your holopod. Oh, air squid babies. Wait, air squids are predators. Victory! +2 perception. You duck behind some roots and keep perfectly still as the creepy creatures float around and pass you. They don't seem to be hunting for food. They must be on their way somewhere. +1 animals. Air squid adults are solitary hunters, but these juveniles form large groups and move together fluidly like schools of fish. Once they're a safe distance away, you take some notes on their social behavior. The oddest thing is how many there were. Hundreds of the things. But mature air squids are very rare creatures. More often heard than seen. It must be a tough life if so few of them reach adulthood. Treated to a spectacular sight, an enormously long caterpillar dragon kind of creature, way off in the distance. It's thousands of legs and kilometers of shimmering bodies snaking in and out of the haze at the bottom of this chasm. Just watch it. It's terrifying. It's like a train. Well, let's take some readings. 2 kudos, +1 animals. It's so far away, but you record its movement coordinates and take a video for Utopia. A beautiful little locust lands on your arm. It calmly washes its face. I think I did this last week. Let's just move on. Good thing too, because the whole swarm of them was coming over the horizon. You're out of there before they arrive, and when you come back later in the week, the entire place has been stripped of vegetation. The only things still standing are the crystals glinting in the sunlight. We'll skip over this one, see if Sim's here. He is here. You're taking a sample at the base of the tree when you feel something patter off your head and fall to the ground. It's a nut? That's strange. This species doesn't usually... You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize you're being watched this whole time. A pair of familiar eyes peer down at you from the branches. It's Sim. He grins down. Well, well, well. If it isn't the little human, have you come to visit me, Sugarbug? But I saw you die. Sim's dead. Who are you? It's an alien ghost! Ah! But I saw you die. Did you? He says shyly. You think I would remember that? If you did witness my death, I apologize, Sim continues. Leans down from his branch, his long hair dangling just out of reach. Pardon me. I imagine I didn't enjoy it much either. How can you just die and come back? I guess I'm happy you're alive? Sim sighs graciously. I wish everyone felt that way, he mutters. One of my associates seemed to feel otherwise. At your confused look, he waves his hand. One of the other gardeners knocked loose, and they really don't care for you humans. I'm afraid that they're aware I've taken an interest in you. With a soft woof, Sim drops gracefully out of the tree and lets himself off. You're treading dangerous waters by hunting the animals, he says. They're becoming absolutely insufferable about it, and soon I won't be able to talk them down from taking matters in their own hands. He claps you on the shoulder. Take that warning with the candor with which it is intended. Sim turns to leave, but you sputter and grab his sleeve. You can't. After all that, you deserve some answers, some real ones. He owes you that. He turns to you, one arch eyebrow raised. What is it, Badly? What do you really do here? Sim gives you a blank smile. I am the gardener, he says simply. I was created to be a gardener, and I imagine that I will be one until my services are no longer required. At your look of confusion, Sim softens. Humanity is so concerned with purpose, he says sadly. It is because you are not created for one, and you spend the entirety of your short lives under the impression you need one. The concept of someone having a purpose must be seductive. He shrugs one elegant shoulder. My existence is simple. I act in the way for which I was created. That is not an interesting answer of an individualistic species as yourself. I am aware. Perhaps we must both accept that it may be beyond the human capability to comprehend. Are you really, Sim? The one and the same, Sim answers carefully, prying your hand from his clothing. I acknowledge this is difficult for you to understand. He takes a deep breath, considering his words carefully. Humans have but one short window of consciousness, which encourages you to think of yourselves as individual points on the line of history. You are, quite clearly, not your parents, or your grandparents, or your unborn children. You are your own marvelous creature. He places his hand on his chest. I do not disappear when this form dies. I am eternal, in a sense. I am all who come before, and I am all who will come after. I am my own legacy. I am symbiosis. He tilts his head to the side, as if listening to something, and squeezes your hand. I fear I have said too much. I hope I can see you again soon. and that all may be revealed to you. Oh, I didn't get tangent toward this present before I came out here. A precarious natural land bridge drops down sharply on both sides here. Kick a rock over the side, but don't hear it hit the bottom. You cross the bridge very carefully. Cross the bridge, dirtbag. Very carefully. You shuffle across it slowly, examining the cracks and sticking to the solid places. You accidentally send a few more pebbles skirting over the edge and think better of them than me. Okay. Well, I don't want to spin glow trying to regain my happiness, so I'm going to go over here and go home. Go home. You spent the month exploring. You're browsing the colony bulletin board on your holopalm over breakfast when you notice a new post from Nami. It seems to be a short story. Title is Xenos to the Rescue. Oh boy. You open the story and read through it. Wow, it's actually pretty good. Nami did a great job of grounding the unrealistic premise of talking manticores and relatable characters and a strong emotional story. With your help on some of the finer details, Nami's written something that truly elevates the art form. With my kudos. You get the notification through your holopub that you've received some kudos along with a message from Nami. Thanks for the help, Badly. Here are your royalties. Glow. Okay. So I saved a little bit of happiness so I can sneak out of Glow. After all, this is what we went through a bunch of those boss events in the Ridge for. Shadows upon shadows move against each other and glow. Weaving are under the glowing of the mush trees like ghost. The force is still as a creature breathing its last breath. You don't see still until you're practically on top of it. Hi, Sugarbug, he laughs, holding you by the shoulders. Miss me. You nearly didn't there. I totally saw you there. Ah! I totally saw you there. Send a smile. Of course you did. You're practically made for this place. Sam starts walking through the forest, his footsteps sliding a path with ease. This is my favorite time of year, you know, he says. I get the sense that you humans are afraid of it. Well, things do tend to attack us. Humans are naturally afraid of the dark. Well, things do tend to attack us. That's true, Sam replies, tilting his head with a funny expression. Those attacks are not natural, as you may have guessed. Glow isn't dangerous at all. It's lovely. He smiles. Glow is a time of healing, actually. A time for the creatures of this planet to go dormant, reflect on themselves, and to strengthen connections with other life forms. Of course, the planet repels you. Pardon me. Of course, the planet repels you, he adds, raising his hand to stir a cloud of glowing spores drifting above your head. You don't connect. You're like a burr lodged against skin. Sim continues walking. I'm sure you have some questions for me, as usual, he says, his voice weary. Is Noctilucent the one attacking us? Sim smiles, looks off in the distance. So you met. My condolences. Their views are difficult to hold within mine, though I understand them implicitly. Noctilucent is responsible for invasive species management, Sim adds. So, yes, repelling you falls under their domain. The most obvious method, as you've noticed, is the yearly attacks, though there are other, more subtle methods to discourage growth. Plague and famine, for example. It doesn't need to be this way, he sighs. Sim stops walking, smiles politely. Well, that is enough for now. The trees have ears, you know. Shadows upon shadows move. Look for Sim in the hollows of the trees now, his eyes gleaming in the permanent night. Hello again, Sugarbug, he chuckles. You're getting pretty good at navigating in the dark. Sim sets off through the darkened forest feeds, bidding you to follow. Have you come to ask me more questions? Seriously, what's up with the wormhole? Sim laughs. Just like that. You'd like me to unravel the mysteries of the universe for you. Suffice it to say, I don't think you could fully understand it, even if I explained everything I knew. He looks up to the wormhole with a thoughtful expression. Truthfully, the wormhole is older than even this planet, he mutters. It operates on a level of space and time that are beyond even my comprehension. The universe is impossibly vast and unknowable. I'm sure you've already noticed that it's related to your foresight, yes? He asks, and you nod. Your dreams, if that's what they are, always seem to get worse and wet and glow. When the wormhole is close to the planet. Many individuals, such as yourself, are sensitive to a wormhole's effects of time and space. Fluctuations and eddies in the normal linear flow of reality. Think of it like an echo, only not your own. Think of it as if a version of yourself stood in this spot and shouted, then moved forward in time before hearing his own voice return. You can hear those echoes, choices that person made and events he experienced that may not come to pass for yourself. So I can change the future. I'm not the only one. Well, I know I can change the future. We've seen it. We saved Tammy, we saved Hal. I'm not the only one? Sam shakes his head. Not though you may be the only human. No, though you may be the only human. We gardeners have lived under this wormhole for thousands of years, he adds. Some of us have developed a sensitivity to it as well. We use it to guide us, to tend to the planet. Sim stops walking in, smiles politely. Well, that is enough for now. The tree's heavy, which is, you know. Your explorations lead you steadily upward until you find yourself on a plateau overlooking the valley. Colony is a dark little smudge below. A break in the magnificent natural luminescence of glow. From up here, the wormhole feels so close you can touch it. You're not alone up here. Your heart leaps to your throat as you spot it. Shell house, dark on dark, under the eerie light of the wormhole. A faceless. Oh, I need bravery 50! Rush up and warn the guards, leave quietly. Well, I want to warn the guards, but I need to leave quietly. Oh, that doesn't, Your explorations lead you steadily upward. From here, the wormhole feels so close you can touch it. That is where you saw, or thought you saw, the faces before. You creep forward carefully, trying to stick to the shadows that cling to the ancient gnarlwood trees. Approach the center of the plateau. Nope! There are footsteps here. Giant footsteps. Each ring with mushroom pushed up from the moist soil by the weight of the beast. You gingerly realize you're standing in the middle of one. The faceless, if indeed one was standing here earlier, could crush you as flat as the grass beneath your feet. Well, that's what happened to Calm. You find other signs of it. Trees that have been knocked down in a circular pattern. The bushes and grasses here have pushed up into one big mound, leaving the rest of the plateau clear. You remember this place now, from your visions. From under the pyramid and the western ridges. And from long before that, you feel as if you've always known something important will happen here soon. Wait. Zero stress. Cool. You stare up at the wormhole. Immense in the sky above, just as you remember doing in your vision. You wait. Wait. You wait. Wait. You wait. You yawn and check your holopalm. It's hard to keep track of time during the low. And it's getting late. You look around, but nothing has changed. The trees are perfectly still. You wait. You wait. Wait. You wait. The wormhole seems especially huge right now. Is it always so big? You imagine you can see the whole galaxies in its slowly spinning arms, tiny flecks of rainbow light being sucked into the black hole in the center. But it's so much closer than a galaxy. So close it could swallow you and all of Fortuna in its hungry, ethereal maw. Wait. You wait. Wait. You wait. Wait, you wait. The force seems to get quieter, as if it's expecting something. Wormhole swells as you stare and stare into its depths. It's been hours. It's now well past the middle of the night. You're exhausted, but you can't look away. You feel hypnotized. Wait. You wait. Wait. You wait. You've always been waiting. You will always be waiting. Staring up at the wormhole, being sucked into its depths. A shadow falls over you. Look at the shadow. You slowly lower your gaze from where you've been staring at the wormhole for hours. Your neck stiffens. Your neck stiff and sore. Straight ahead of you, what you'd earlier thought was just the shadow of a tree is the Faceless. It was there all along, watching you. Takes a heavy step forward, then another. Moves gently, his feet sinking into the soft ground and pushing up phosphorescent fungi from below to explode to the surface in rings of jubilant light. You don't move as it approaches. Took all your energy to look away from the wormhole, but you're still completely spellbound. Faceless looms over you, as big as a building. Its zipper neck gapes grotesquely, and its tentacles wave gently through the air, tasting it, feeling it, smelling you. The end of two tentacles open, and a strange glowing mist floats up from them. It leans down. It envelops you in its tentacles, each as large as you are, and you breathe in its spores. Under the internal night sky of glow, the wormhole seems to swallow you both whole, and the entire planet, and an infinite number of universes besides. You feel a beckoning within you, a curious tug somewhere in your ribcage, a yearning you can't describe. Embrace it, the end. Resist infinity. Resist infinity. You aren't ready. A small part of you demands to stay here on the planet of consciousness. On the plane of consciousness. You hold your breath and bring your mind back to the present. You let the Faceless touch you softly with its tentacles until it seems satisfied that you have made your decision, and then it withdraws. As you slowly disconnect from the gentle creature, you can feel its emotions, its story. You understand that it was born like the others of its kind in a breeding tank below the ground. Although it was sent here to destroy your colony, something changed in it that can't be changed back. You see again the image of the Faceless staring up at the wormhole, transfixed as you were. It no longer feels the pull of the ley lines, the trumpeters, the forest, the forces that were used to control it. The thumpers, the forces that were used to control it, is no longer a construct or an avatar, but a free being. It only feels the dance of the wormhole now, and the natural rhythms of life itself. You stand completely still, arrested by the sudden understanding that sweeps over you. The Faceless retreats to the large mound of grasses and brushes at the other end of the plateau. A baby Faceless pokes its head out of the nest, wiggling its tentacles and greeting to its mother. Oh. Whoops. Keep exploring. Can I get down there? Yes, no. Okay. Go home. You spend the month exploring. +2 bravery, +1 perception. Knowing the attack is coming, as it always comes in Glow, does nothing to calm your nerves. There's only so long you can handle sheltering in your quarters. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively walking the walls when you're not working, scanning the tree line for the first signs of trouble. You're there when you see them, dark on dark shapes coming out of the forest, perfectly silent. You watch with the lookouts as more and more figures amass at the forest's edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least, it must be in the thousands, more animals than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with the teeming carpet of smaller creatures darting in and moving among legs of, oh no, oh no. The forest bends as a faceless emerges from its death, followed by two more. The mood on the walls. I need bravery 50, and I don't have it. I'm one short. The moon on the walls is discouraged. One faceless destroyed your calling. Two faceless required an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are you supposed to be able to handle three? You duck your head and rush toward the safety of the quarters. As you run, you notice the colony is well defended. The colony defenses are mediocre. The colony is badly defended. The colony is well defended. What is this one? Colony defense less than 10 and colony defense 5 or greater. Colony is well defended. As you run, you take pride in how swiftly the defenders have rallied to protect the colony. After 9 years, it really feels like you have a handle on how to defend against these animal attacks. The effort everyone puts into shoring up your defenses hasn't gone to waste. The battle is definitely going in your favor. You're descending from the walls when you're thrown to the ground by a tremendous rumble. A few meters in front of you, something tunnels toward you through the mud. You have the impression of something long and dark that cuts through the ground like a shark through water. You scramble to your feet, but it cuts off your path, forcing you towards a geoponics outbuilding. It's a storage shed, mostly empty besides bales of hay, used as float cow feed. It's dimly lit, but you think you see another door at the far end. The creature advances, throwing up rocks and chunks of dirt as it tunnels closer. Fight it. Hard combat challenge. Avoid it. Fight it. 104. Uh, 3641. Um, my first thought is I could turn these two yellow, but I can't. Um, because this is -5 to non-strength neighbors, and that's not going to change if I change the color. This is the last challenge I'm going to have to do, right? Victorious. Wow, +1 colony defense, +1 combat. You grab a rake and back into the doorway to wait for the monster to emerge. As it rears up and thrusts its long black snout out of the ground, you stab the rake down into it, dispatching it. Before you even had time to be relieved, you spot a second one coming towards you. You take another step back into the storehouse and feel heat. The building is on fire. Stressed out. You're stressed out and you need to take a month off. Can't do anything but relax. The dry thatch, +28 stress. The dry thatch roof quickly ignites and rains flaming debris down on your head, filling the room with toxic smoke. The ashy heat is intense. Feel it ripping the moisture from your lungs with every breath. You rush to the rear door, but the fire moves so fast you're trapped. As a roof beam collapses in front of you, you hear a cracking noise, then just pain. And a noise like a bell. The world goes dark. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light, heat, smoke, fire. This seems familiar. Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out, but you weren't sure how you got here or what on the tuna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet and collapses. Your body aches, your eyes burn from the smoke, a figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, I can't remember her name. She's gesturing and shouting to you, but all you hear is a ring in your ears. What's going on? Try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lungful of choking smoke, and you feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? Wait, hold on. You remember this from another life. Not a dog, a monster. About to end your life and probably Eminette's too. She tightens her grip on you. Shield Eminette. I don't have enough empathy. You prepared for this earlier. Dodge and fight it. Dodge and fight it. You shout a warning and push Eminette to one side as you dive to the other. The beast roars and transforms into a towering horror, a thing that has haunted your dreams for years. But you're ready for it. You realize you've been ready for it your whole life. You dispatch the creature by hurling a piece of debris which catches in midair. You distract the creature by hurling pieces of debris, which catches in midair and grinds into bits with its powerful jaw. This gives Ammonette time to get close and zap it with her stun gloves. While the creature is immobilized, you jump in and finish it off with your glass cutter. You emerge from the inferno of the shed, burned and confused, but alive. Ammonette smiles. It's good to be alive. Status is ended injured. No, I had status injured. You have your wounds tended in medbay. Other soldiers are in much worse shape, but at least the battle is over. Your defense is held, though the largest attack to date with no casualties at all. It held through the largest attack to date with no casualties at all. Colonies really came together to push back the Xenos once again. You feel a certain amount of pride in your part in it. Someday you'll find a way to beat these monsters once and for all. But for now, you're just happy you've survived to live another day. And that day is your birthday. By the time you recover, the sun has returned. It's your 20th birthday. You're a full-fledged adult now, though in many ways you already were and have been for a long time. You and your friends step out to greet the new day and start the rest of your life on the tongue. The end. Now we get an ending. You've reached your 20th birthday. Collector. Of course I am. Over the years, you amassed many wonders from your expeditions. Artifacts from the Convergent Domain, animal skeletons made of pure crystal, tree nuts that play music when they're touched, and many more discoveries too incredible to describe. Your prize find is a clutch of glowing eggs that remain warm and vibrant to the touch even after being in your possession for 10 years. You collect it all. You share them with others. All these things, these beautiful, precious things, you can never keep them hidden away in drawers and boxes. You need to share them to show others the wonders of Atoma. In your later years, you start a museum of planetary oddities so everyone can enjoy and learn from them. There's a hands-on section where children can touch and play with things. It's a delightful space that excites the imagination and encourages children to follow in your footsteps. But what about symbiosis, the bridge between two peoples? Undying, never-aging, ever-patient, Sim becomes as much a mystery to you as the rest of the planet. The colony continues to buckle under yearly attacks and unnatural disasters, but Sim never wavers in his passion to learn everything about humanity, though he remains as cryptic as always. His affection for your species only deepens. In your grief and demoralizing fatigue, you sometimes turn to blaming Sim. Why can't he stop these attacks? Why can't he argue with the gardeners to leave humanity alone? He never holds it against you, no matter how cruel your words. Every time you calm down, he patiently reminds you that his dissenting voice is one of the other reasons why humanity hasn't been destroyed outright. Meeting Sim in secret makes you feel horrible, sometimes like you're being torn apart in the middle of this war. You love your friend, but the war takes its toll on your friendship, just like it wears down the colony. You visit Sim as your job allows it, but over time you see him less. He doesn't need to come to your rescue anymore. You're an adult now, and you know what you're doing out there in the wilds. Eventually, you stop seeing him at all. You think he might have taken another form. Maybe he's moved on from humans to study some other animal. Or maybe the gardeners have given up on understanding humans. The attacks only grow stronger every year. What about? Your dad never really recovers from your mom's death. He tries, but his smile just isn't the same. He continues to carry the weight of feeding the colony on his shoulders. Ranching and farming and analyzing new native plants, trying to find better ways for humanity to thrive on Patona. The attacks on the colonies destroy his progress every year, and the stress ages him prematurely. You watch your father grow weaker under the strain until one day a sudden heart attack claims him in the field. He worked hard every day to see Patona flourish, but you have to go on without him. They'll always be with you, and the ground you walk it's good. And the ground you walk on, and the trees that give you shade, and the cycle of life that sustains you. But what about your Vickery grows from the size of a small dog to the size of a bear, becoming more and more unwieldy and more terrifying to small children. Before the council can force you to do anything about your arachnid octopus friend, Bright Eyes just disappears. You look everywhere in the colony for it, but your answer comes from outside the wall, a new Vickery nursery tree. Soon the colony is host to many curious Vickery pups who call your Bright Eyes home. In my later years, days turn to months, eventually becoming years and decades. Before you know it, you're old. Life is tough but rewarding. With your strong defenses, the colony becomes a fortress against the untamed wilds of the planet Patuna. Expansion is slow and difficult, but the hunting spots keep the local xenophon down. You even start a second colony a few hundred clicks away, and humanity begins to get a real foothold on the planet. Gone are the days where you worry that humanity will be wiped off the map for good, but it's still far from the utopian paradise you were promised. This is your home, for better or for worse. You do what you can to make it a good one. Eventually, death comes to you, as it does to everyone. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle, one by one, and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Is that a person? They seem so familiar, you feel like you know them well. Oh, it's you, only ancient. His arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving his mouth, not in words, but in things like pictures. Still, you understand. He smiles. We had a good life, don't you think? There are so many possibilities, and this was only one of them. I lived my best life. I could have done better. Well, I tried. Could have done better. I can tell from the weight of your soul, he says sadly, that many of your friends and family died before their time. People who might not have, perhaps, if you made different choices. Pat your shoulder, consoling him. It's natural in grief to wish you could have done something different, to have saved someone, but we're special, aren't we? We really can save them. We have a chance to take another path, to choose the way our life turned out. He reaches out a hand. Come with me. Go with them. And roll credits. So, endings gallery. We can look at the endings, but I've only had two. Start your new life. We've got about 30 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and start another life. See sort of some of the changes at the beginning. But then that'll be it after the 30 minutes. We'll end the stream, and next week we'll play something else. Wake up again. And we're not going to read this because we just saw it. What's going on? Glow season. You were born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Solar System. Your parents run the hydroponics gardens, which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely choose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Batuna 4 in the hope they could escape Earth's troubles. They had to do the old-fashioned way, merging their genes just like they merged their culture and tradition. They name you Badly. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active. Your mom says, use the sliders for pronouns and like teen's appearance. Your earliest memories are of your fourth birthday. There's a big cake with a neat hollow effect that looks like fire, but when you reach out to touch it, all you get is a handful of ice. Yummy. Your favorite present is your mom's gardening trowel, an animal book from your dad, a doll from Antecedent, Captain Ucott's old hat, learning tablet from Professor Hal, sports ball from Security Chief Rat. Let's go with Captain Yuka's hat. 5 entity and +1 bonus to straights. Captain runs the whole entire ship. She's very big and very, very old. She doesn't usually have time to talk with kids. Your dad says her job is serious business. So I got +5 persuasion as well. From as early as you can remember, you've had vivid dreams every night. You're dreaming about your friends, but they're more grown up. You dream about your parents too, only they're more serious. At night, you explore a vast, unexplored wilderness under wide open skies, enjoying the feeling of rain hitting your face. Except sometimes you dream of monsters. Sometimes the bad dreams make you scared to go to sleep. So every night before lights out, your dad tells you a bedtime story. You often ask for tales of Earth, a place you've only seen in holovids. Your dad doesn't want to talk about it. How about we save that for another time, he says. Or maybe when you're older. First, made up stories. Your favorite is Star Knight and the Princess Petticoats, Superhero, Justice Warriors, Future Dog, and the Space Cadets. Stories from your dreams. Dream people. Futurism. Idealism. Tradition. All of these are great. For completionist's sake, I would think to grab one of these. Because I don't think I've got. I might have gotten idealism before. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I've had any of these. Some things, and you could probably go back and see this in the first episode. Some things you have to go through a life first before you get in the opening. This might be one of them. I do have this one because of my unstreamed game. But I think I'm going to go for this one again. Dream people. It's always been weird that way. You beg and tell you stories about aliens called the Gardeners, and since they're real people you've met, or will meet, or something. +5 bravery. Dream people. They're from your dreams, but it seems so real. It's more like remembering. It's hard to explain. Your family doesn't understand. Your dad is happy to play make-believe. Together, you make up new adventures for the Gardeners every night. Every child in the stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see the first signs of yours. Eagle eyes. Extra fingers. Absorbent brain. Super strength. Calm temperament. This is what we had last playthrough. Interesting, I don't know where I got negotiating from. This is what we had last playthrough, was calm temperament. That's why we got less stress. We go for super strength. Absorbent brain. Extra finger, eagle eyes. Super strength actually gives us a 5 card. Okay, we're going for super strength. Uncle Tolan says it's a lazy person's dream. Eat whatever you want, don't exercise at all, and still look like you spent all day at the gym. You're incredibly strong for your age, but you go easy on your friend. Energetic and loyal Aminette, tough and gentle Cal, bold and confident Mars. Quiet and adventurous Dis, studious and mature Tangent, shy and sweet Tammy, ship's computer congruence. Okay. By the time you're 8, you spend more time talking to the ship's computer than others your age. Plus 10 reasoning, plus 10 engineering. It's awfully good. That 5 didn't have a asterisk next to it. It should if its value is wild. You seem to know things about her without understanding why. Like how to ask nicely for her to treat you like one of the adults. Unlocking commands that the other kids don't even know exist. It's a trick you do. A string of numbers and letters recited in a whisper. A secret language between you and her alone. Remember, we got at the beginning of the episode, we got the her operating code. Ten stress. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to other star systems. The planet Fortuna 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. When the day finally comes, it starts to rumble. Then things start to slide off the tables. You hurry together near the escape pods just in case. Single file, everyone, Professor Hal instructs you to follow him. You've dreamed of this day since you were in diapers. It's one of your earliest memories, even though it hasn't happened yet. As the ship passes through the wormhole, the shields will fail. If you don't recalibrate them, your parents' hydroponics farm will be lost. You recalibrate the shields. You give Professor Hal the slip. They move you practice for this day and rush to the engineering wing. Past confused adults try to stop you. You find the nearest congruence terminal. Enter the root access code. Congruence agrees to help you because you are her friend and because you know her favorite string of letters and numbers. Access code accepted, she says. Please enter the shield calibration parameters. I don't know. You know the general concept, but you can't explain the steps to her because you just don't know enough about the ship's engineering. You try everything you can think of, getting increasingly agitated, but she doesn't understand what you want or how to do it. Dang. The ship enters a wormhole while you're still trying to talk to figure it out. You black out, just like you always do. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. The medbed under you plays a soft tone and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completely healed. They may now be safely discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different. Sunlight? Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, grasses, walled domes and walls ringed by giant mushrooms, like trees. There are construction materials everywhere, and people walk around outside on the ground. Better get out there and join them. Rush outside to start your new life. Cautiously step outside to your new life. Well, dang, I don't think we saved hydroponics. Oh! Tammy jumps as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake! Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards the geodesic domes. Walk, click on the ground, click on characters, talk to them. Yeah, we know this. Badly! Your dad gives you a warm hug. I'm so happy! You're finally awake. Doctors thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year. My snoozy little gooseberry. Shakes your head and looks relieved. He was clearly very worried about you, but covers it with a joke and smiles. Ah, you love your dad. He's so embarrassing. You love your dad. Welcome to Vertumna, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two and parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. Beautiful. How did you do this so fast? What's outside the walls? What's outside the walls? Oh, don't worry about that, my dear Ambergini, he says. Nothing that could hurt you. We just don't want you getting lost in the big world out there. Oh, before I forget, he pulls out a package from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in medbay. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already. You feel a dizzy sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrap package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package. Some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand. Open the package. How did you know this? It's exactly as you imagined, as you dreamed. A feeling of panic rises in your throat. Your hand shakes, but how? Your dad notices. Are you okay, Badly? He snaps his fingers. Doctors shouldn't have let you out so early. Sometimes these sleeping meds take a while to wear off. It might make your head feel a little funny for a few hours. You know, maybe that's all it is. Someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Badly, he says, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed, and he stops himself. Don't worry. We're going to fix it. Your mother and I. Excuse me. Professor Howe is expecting you in class if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering room. In the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in your quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Badly. I love you. Love you too, Dad. To enter a building, click on the door, flag beside it. Talk to Dis. See Dis sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the wall, he says quietly. Without looking up, they say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory, so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wiggly. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of shifting through the wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking you from your daydream, Dis whispers, I think there are monsters out there. I believe you. Stop making things up. My dad says there's nothing bad out there. I believe you. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic. I can tell. Nobody believes me. Turns his back and ignores you. They're huge and wiggly and dangerous. Stop making fun of me, Dis pouts. You're as bad as Mars. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Eminette. Hiya, Badly. Eminette seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns in the weird blue snow. This stuff is different from snow on Earth, she tells you. Because it's cold, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little, Eminette is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What are you making? Have you seen any monsters? Why aren't you in school? See you later. Why aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm going to be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay, she says. Professor Hal is chill. He won't mind. But we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race you! No fair, she's getting a head start. A low thrumming noise comes from the engineering room. From the engine room, which supplies power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs and medbay. You know the route to your classroom up, but the rest of the wing is off limits to children. Grunts, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Badly. Life sciences, humanity. Good afternoon, my burgeoning biologist and up-and-coming chemist. Professor Hal welcomes you back to your old classroom. This afternoon, we'll learn what I like to call the wet sciences. He gestures to his hollow-projected lesson plan. Biology, chemistry, medicine, ecology, and geology. You'll learn a little bit of everything, with opportunities for further study in your favorite field. If you're looking for something a little drier, try registering for engineering classes. For today's lesson, Professor Howell tells you, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Burkina. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over a meter a day and have a diameter up to 30 centimeters. He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. You're teamed up with Tangent and Cal and are given a mush tree spore and a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up surveyor notes on a hollow that mush trees are most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist region of the subsqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil? Cal suggests, like they do with hydroponics. Tang nods. They like wet weather. That might work. Badly. Do you have a suggestion? Lower the water's pH. Put it under a bright glow light. See to it daily. Run an electric current through it. All of the above. Let's run an electric current through it. What? Tang exclaims. Badly. How does that have any basis in reality? She looks at Cal for support, and he just shrugs, but he doesn't look convinced either. Neither understand why you'd want to electrocute a plant. You explain that there are storms in the swamp, electrical storms. And maybe somehow maybe Badly is right. Tang nods slowly. It could make sense. If it is true, we'd be the first ones to discover it. It's enough to entice Tang into most things. Touch a small battery to run a weak current through your bucket of water and drop the spore in. Next morning, your spore is the only one already growing. By the end of the day, it's already half a meter tall. And the day after that, it's so huge it hits the ceiling, and you have to move it outside. +1 biology, +5 kudos. Your tree outpaces all the others by a long shot. At the end of the week, Tang proudly displays an edit to the surveyor's HoloNet notes. Shows rapid growth when stimulated with a mild electrical current, as discovered by our junior botanist. Studying life science. We need 5. 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. We got 8. That's good. You're 1 start because I could have clearly done better if I'd put the zeros together, but I just now thought of that. Your skills increase when you work or go to school, extra skills, blah, blah. We all know how this works. Your parents have been working from first on to well after dinner every day. You know, growing food is an important job and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed, though you can tell they're exhausted. They make an effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom winces as she works the pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. School's boring. This has all happened before. I believe I already got this card. So, most of the time, I jumped for the things with the past life, but this time we're not going to worry about that. We're going to skip that because it's a negative. I learned some stuff in school. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles. Professor Hal will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, you know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom. I think there's a lot of different ways to learn. School is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future. And if that means finding your own way, we'll accept that. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas for how you can spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. Like shoveling dirt for geoponics. Okay. Well, that's where we're going to end the stream for today. Thank you for joining me for Nathan Plays Badly, Nathan Streams Badly. I was a teenage Exocolonist. I stream on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8:30, and then the vlogs go up a week later on YouTube on Wednesday. I also stream on Friday nights from 9:30 to whenever, and then the vlogs go up a week later on Saturday. Also check out my YouTube playthrough of Stardew Valley 1.6, which goes up on the channel on Monday. Thank you. Oh, if you want to get in touch with me on social media, my ex is at Nathan Badly, and Nathan Plays Badly on Discord, YouTube, Facebook, and here on Twitch. Also, we have a Discord server for the channel. If you want to get on that, just send me a friend request on Discord, and I'll send you an invite. Thank you, and goodbye. Hey, it's Nathan Plays Badly here. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you didn't like this video and you want to leave a constructive comment about what you think might make this video better, I'd also appreciate that. Also, you might see my picture down here. Click on that and subscribe. That would be great too. Thank you and goodbye.